The scariest part about not gambling is the fear that today is the day you're going to miss the easiest win of your entire life. And if you've ever tried taking a day off and felt worse instead of better, this video is probably going to make you feel uncomfortable. My name's Joe, and I struggled with gambling for years, and I make videos about the psychology of gambling, not the fun parts, the parts that really nobody wants to talk about. And this right here, this fear of missing out, is one of the biggest reasons people can't stop gambling even after they win. And no, this has nothing to do with discipline or willpower or being bad with money. This is about how your brain gets hijacked and slowly taught to work against you. Let's talk about what happens when you try to take a day off. You tell yourself you're doing the responsible thing, you're not betting today, you're resetting, you're getting your head right, but mentally, you're already bracing for regret because in your head it goes, of course, today's the day that everything hits. The guaranteed winner or lock that you didn't play, the free money you walked away from, and you start checking scores just out of curiosity and you tell yourself you're only watching. But every update feels like a test you didn't study for. And here's the part that nobody admits. Taking a day off doesn't feel peaceful. It feels dangerous. It feels like stepping away right before the big payoff. And if that doesn't make sense to you, you probably haven't dealt with gambling problems because logic left the building a long time ago. Here's the really dangerous part about taking a day off. You still gamble. You just don't use money. You start picking games in your head. You see the lines. You decide what you would have played. And you build imaginary parlays. You say things like, I would have smashed that. And somehow these imaginary bets always win. You don't remember the ones you would have lost. You don't remember the bad reads. You remember the ones that hit. And so your brain says, I knew it. I should have played it. That's not intuition. That's not being sharp. That's your brain lying to you to pull you back in. There's actually a psychological term for this. It's called cognitive dissonance. Your brain literally can't handle the idea that not gambling was the right move because gambling is the thing it's been trained to rely on. So it edits the tape. It deletes the losses you would have had and it rewrites the history. It turns imaginary wins into proof and suddenly not gambling feels like a mistake. That's why days off don't feel like relief. They feel like missed opportunity, and that feeling stays with you until you gamble again. And honestly, that's how addiction protects itself. It doesn't scream at you, it whispers. Now let's talk about what happens if you do gamble and you win early. Like, for example, if you take the early slate of football games and you end up winning. Because this is where people think the problem ends. It actually gets worse. Your brain says, see, I'm hot. I'm seeing the board clearly today. And so you add another bet and then another bet. And then next thing you know, you're betting on Russian ping pong. You're not betting to win anymore. You're betting so you don't miss anything. And here's the trap. Missed wins feel painful. The losses feel personal and the wins don't feel like enough. So when you lose, you chase. And when you win, you keep going. It's different emotions, but the same outcome, and then the entire day disappears. And that's why gamblers don't stop after a win, because FOMO convinces you the next one is easier. And once your brain believes that, there's no good stopping point. If the bets you didn't place feel more painful than the money you actually lost, that's not bad luck. That's probably addiction. And understanding that is the first real step to getting out.